515,000 meals. That's what one Sioux City car dealer has helped to put on the tables over the last 5 years. And today that dealership added to that big total. Jensen Subaru donated nearly $13,000 to the Sunnybrook Hope Center's food pantry this morning. It's all part of Subaru's Share the Love campaign. If you bought or serviced a vehicle at Jensen Subaru this fall, you helped to make this happen. In November and December, a portion of each vehicle bought or serviced went towards a national or local charity. In this case, the charity was Sunnybrook Hope Center.
What they do down here is absolutely fantastic. These guys, all these volunteers down here do a great job of helping out the local families in need, and obviously it's something that's important to us down at Jensen.
The organizers of the Hope Center say this donation will help create about 65,000 meals. But who can use that food pantry? Turns out anyone who needs help. Every Tuesday and Thursday, people can visit Sunnybrook Church in Sioux City and its food pantry. KTIV's Taylor Deckert shows us who's showing up, and she tells us why.
Things are tough for a lot of people, and a lot of times it's not anything that they did.
For the last 3 years, Jim Walcott has volunteered at the Sunnybrook Hope Center, walking people through the pantry.
That most people try to get things that will stretch as far as they can.
With the cost of groceries still high, many families in our community are struggling to put food on the table. Executive Director Tina Stroud says one visit can save a family of 8 nearly $400 a month.
And they're trying to determine, gosh, do I pay rent? Do I pay utilities? Do I pay my kids' school expenses? Something's got to give. And so this is one way during that season that we're able to offset some of those costs.
Hardship doesn't always look the same, but it can happen to anyone.
There are people that maybe are insured and they had a medical situation that was unexpected, and they don't have enough of a savings account or that monthly income to cover extra. Maybe the car broke down and they had to get all new tires.
For Jim, the only requirement to get help is needing it.
Some of them are really in need and have a lot of problems, and some of them are just so appreciative to get anything, just some extra food.
This donation will go a long way, but some of the most needed items right now include toilet paper and diapers. And that is where you come in. You can learn more on how to donate and get involved at the Hope Center on KTIV.com. Taylor Deckert in Sioux City, KTIV News 4.
And if you need help, walk-ins are welcome on Tuesdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and on Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.